Hello there, this is Feech, and this is a really fun fairy deck that I've been playing with. Um, I really enjoy it. I'm still sort of building on it, but I thought I'd just make a quick video talking about it a little bit before you know, in case it goes up in price or something, as some of the cards have been becoming a little more expensive. So yeah, let's get into it. First off, the land. I really like the land base actually. The only problem is Dreadship Reef. Having it in my opening hand is a little rough, and having 4 Sunken Reefs, Sunken Ruins, feels a little bad at times. However, you don't want to have only 3 because this is you really need to Sunken Ruins in so sometimes it hurts you, but usually you can still kind of play around it as long as you have 1 non-Sunken Ruins land. It's fine. Well, unless it's Dredge Reef. So I think Dredge Reef probably should be cut here, but I like how it plays out, so I'm still kind of debating whether I want to keep it or leave it. But One Fairy Conclave, it's a really good land. I don't like how it enters tapped, and I don't like how it's a 2/1. If it was like a 3/1 or a 4/3, or it had higher toughness, I would be a lot higher on this card. But it enters tapped, plus it's still not the best stats. It's the same stat line. It's a 2/1 besides a 1/1. That spell spread is, but still 2/1 isn't the best stat line, especially for 2 mana. So it's okay, but at the same time, it does help you enable your other fairies, like in the mid to late game when you're, playing a little more of a top deck battle, and you just need 1 extra fairy on the field for, Mistbind Click or Spellstutter Sprite. Fairy Conclave is pretty good with that, so that's why I still run one of them, and why, yeah. Bloodchief Ascension, I really like this card actually. I have this instead of Cling to Dust, as this is as this is one of my previous lists, and you can see I run, 1 Cling to Dust, and I have 1 more on the sideboard. I wasn't like Cling to Dust too much, as usually I'd only activate it once, and I wouldn't get enough cards in my graveyard to kind of enable it, or it would just be so much mana that I didn't really have an easy time casting the Cling to Dust. Cling to Dust. So usually it would end up just being like I'd cycle it or something, or I'd gain a small bit of life once. However, Bloodchief Ascension, if I get on turn 1, I can just cast it, slowly let it set up, and then add an extra clock to my opponent, as there's not too many creatures in this deck, so having something to try to kill them faster that isn't a creature is really nice. Especially because a lot of people, like Bloodchief, I think a lot of people don't want a prismatic ending, especially if they know that I run Bitter Blossom. So it's a really good card that definitely is nice with this deck, and I've been really liking it, which is I'm a little surprised that no one else has been playing it. But I think the main reason why no one's been playing it is because usually people play Thoughtseize and Inquisitions in this deck. 4 Spellstutter, 4 Counterspell, 4 Drown the Lock. Drown the Lock's a little rough, as I don't have a way to make them mill cards or anything. But if they do end up having a good amount in their graveyard, which a lot of decks do have, then it can end up being really nice. 4 Siphon Insight. I really like Siphon Insight. It's also a lot more budget compared to its alternate options, as I do kind of like running this in the slot where someone would run a Shark Typhoon, or more recently, the card from Innistrad. I forgot what it's called. Let me quickly check. The card called, it's right here, Memory Deluge. So it's kind of like that. An instant speed mana sink that can kind of give you value. It's only 2 mana, so that's really nice. Plus, my deck doesn't have too many threats. But you know who might have threats? My opponent. And if they're running counter spells, or even if they're just running a land and I need an extra land drop, this is totally fine as a card. Or I could just exile one of their important pieces and just make sure they can't ever get it. So that's also reasonable. I've been really liking this card. It's really fun, even if it's not necessarily the best, it's really fun. So I really like this card. 3 Bitter Blossom, you almost never want 2 of them on the field. Sometimes you do, but I'm not the biggest fan of having multiple of them in your opening hand or in play. So I'm running 3. I don't think that's too uncommon. It's a little rough when someone plays Prismatic Ending, but I mean, it is what it is. 1 Vendilion, it's a good creature. However, Vendilion doesn't let you really hold up counterspells usually. you'd have to be at 5 mana, which isn't the most common in this deck. You don't get there real fast, so that's why that's like that. But it's a good card. It's got 3 power, which is really nice. But I do have the other ones in the sideboard in case I do need to interact with our hand a little more. But for now, that's kind of how it is. 3 subtlety in the main. I'm not the biggest fan of subtlety. I just don't like the card too much, especially in this deck where you don't really have that many extra cards. Sometimes you'll have an extra opt or consider in your hand, which is nice to pitch the subtlety. But a lot of times you'll have to pitch like a counter spell or one of your threats that you'll need later, like Fallen Shinobi. And if you pitch a Fallen Shinobi, now you only have 1 left in your deck, which is really rough. But 3 subtlety, you do need it against some decks. Some decks will just destroy you if you don't have them, so that's why that's there. It also lets you play stuff like Vendilion Click or Mistbind Click and tap out without being too nervous that you'll just get blown out. 2 Mistbind Click, it's a really good card, and it really helps, you get damage in. It sort of time walks them, as you could just play this during your opponent's right after your opponent's untap step. They can't play too much that turn. Maybe Unholy Heat, probably one of the best options. Maybe Ragavan. But it really stops them from just, destroying you that one turn, as you can get some quick damage in if you already had like Vendilion Click out. Plus this, that's like free 7 damage basically, which is really nice. 2 Fallen Shinobi. Really good card. You can just take some really good cards. Someone to Siphon Insight, except it's 4 mana and it requires you already have a creature in play. But it also does work well with like Spellstutter Sprite and some of these other fairies that do get ETBs that are pretty powerful. So yeah, this is the deck list right now. I think it's very fun, decently powerful. It's not like tier 1 at all. But I'm also not the best player, so I don't know exactly how powerful it is. But it's really fun, and it has some game against decks. I beat Enchantress the other day. I don't know who else I've beaten, but it's a really fun deck. So yeah, I think I'll play a quick tournament practice with it. Yeah, I think I've beaten Enchantress and Blue-Red Murktide, but the Blue-Red Murktide list was a little not stock, and it relied. No, I actually don't know if I beat that. I know I won a game. I don't remember if I beat them best out of 3 though. I do remember really hoping to draw Murktides from them though. That was nice. Sure, I'll keep this. Hand's a little awkward, as turn 3 playing a Dreadship isn't the best, but we'll see what happens. I'm really happy to have a Faerie Seer here, as if I can scry to a Spellstutter Sprite, that's goals. That is the ideal. But besides that, I also have Opt to consider, which if they don't do anything turn 1, I could use. So they're both instant speed, so my opponent doesn't do anything turn 2, I'm not just holding nothing. I still get some sort of value from Opt to consider. Alright, cool. Faerie Seer. Pass. Oh, turn off yields actually. There we go. That's what I meant to do. What's my opponent doing? Alright, Scry 2. What am I looking at? Fallen Shinobi Island. I don't mind Island at all. I want to see Counterspell here, but I'm really tempted to keep this. Maybe I'll bottom Island, and I'll top the Shinobi, as I do have a turn 2 play with Sunken Ruins. And if they try to go too hard combo or something, I have Drown of the Lock. It leaves me a little weak to some stuff, but that's okay. We'll give it a try. I think maybe the correct option was to bottom Fallen Shinobi 2 in hopes of Counterspell, but okay. Godless Shrine tapped. Well, shit. They just take Drown, right? I'm fine with that. They're not ephemerating here, so it's not too bad for me. I'll definitely have to watch it game 2 though. I'm not happy to see this though. I'm very not happy. Grief Ephemerate is probably my least favorite, like the big boogeyman for me for this deck. It's the deck like I feel like I'm probably softest against, as they just totally remove your cards, and if they could do that in turn 1, I don't have much interaction besides my own invoke invocation, invoke elemental. I meant to say. We'll do that. We'll pretend we're holding up counterspell. I don't think it'll work, but it might. I don't know. But if they do try to cast something that I really need to counter, I'll just consider an opt and try to find a um a subtlety. What's this? I wish I had a counterspell for this, but I don't, so whatever. Whatever. Not much I can do about that. Luckily, I do have Drown in the locks, so I could just destroy a token. So if they get like a germ to attach a equipment to, a living weapon, then Drown's gonna be good for that. Like that. Alright, so definitely wanna find a Drown lock. Put island in my graveyard. Sure. Alright. On top. Dreadtip Reef. Just in case they don't do anything spooky, I'll play Dreadtip Reef, but not the best play there. We'll attack. I don't see a reason not to. They'll probably just tap out, play Cauldra. Well, it's okay. This doesn't have flying, so that means I could just try to tap out, go for Fallen Shinobi. I'm not completely against that. If they don't play Cauldra this turn, then I'll just misbind them, and then we'll just go off. Yep. Rough. That's rough. Oh, it has haste. Oof. That's rough. Luckily, we do have actually we'll undo, just in case they try to like grief ephemerate me or something. But Fallen Shinobi, we could just go for the RNG and hope that Fallen Shinobi like pulls it through. As if I get my own Cauldron complete or something funny like that, that would be nice. Storage counter. Tap my blue source, which is incorrect probably. Bitter Blossoms, definitely not bad here actually. It has trample. I don't care. I'm going for it. I just gotta hope I hit something good. Just gotta hope I hit something good. Ninjutsu. Blue. Wait, no, undo. Black, blue, colorless, colorless. We'll just do that. I don't think they have much interaction for this besides like a solitude, which would suck. But if I see a solitude off the top, I'd be happy. I'd be really happy. Grief and Stoneforge. I'll play both of them. And what is that? 2-1. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, hitting Grief here feels nice. Cast. What have they got in their hand? They might have to keep, honestly, their Germ as a blocker, which is pretty nice for me if that's the case. Ha! That's funny. What are they solituding? I mean, I'll be happy to gain the life, honestly. Obviously, hitting Fallen Shinobi would suck a little bit, but they misplayed though. They should have hit. They should have gotten rid of Fallen Shinobi as soon as he entered the battlefield before he hit. Probably. Us giving free cards is probably not ideal. Yep. So what you got in your hand, my friend? Uh. Yeah, I'll get rid of Truth and Justice. We'll play the Stoneforge 2. I don't have. Yep. I'll just use it to shuffle my deck. And we'll pass. I mean, Grief has Menace, so if I do attack with it, they aren't guaranteed to. Okay. Not a big fan. Definitely not a big fan. I probably lose game 1, then I'd bring in Void Mirrors. Maybe Damnations too. I'm not sure. Maybe the Fatal Push actually. And the Subtlety. Probably Void Mirror, Fatal Push, and Subtlety. Damnation might be a card too, because they do like to go a little, like they like to have creatures that give you value because of Ephemerate, but why is Ephemerate revealed? Did they pitch Ephemerate? Why? Oh, they did it for Solitude to try to get, yeah, never mind, that makes sense. I was like, that doesn't make too much sense in my opinion, but I guess it does. Subtlety is okay. Um, hmm. Do I just stick a Bitter Blossom here? I think I might just stick a Bitter Blossom here. Do I have any way of doing this? Yeah, I just go black, colorless, like that. For Bitter Blossom. Do I want to though? That's the question. Because if I draw a Spellstush Sprite, I will want to enable it. I guess I'll do it. Attack with this dude. If they double block, I'm fine. They're losing a ton of cards here. They don't have too many cards in their hand. They just have Undying Evil. They take it. They just have Undying Evil and not a Cauldron anymore. They just have Undying Evil and another top deck. So I do also have Counterspell, which is very nice, and Subtlety, so that's very nice here. What is this? White black. Persist, not happening, my friend. That's good that I held up Counterspell. I was tempted to go like Fairy Seer, Bitter Blossom, or something. Okay, that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. However, I probably do still want to attack with Grief. Fairy Conclave's not too bad here, I guess. Do I... Shit, did I have lands? I don't remember. I don't know. Huh. I think I'm gonna wait one more turn before going off. Scry 2, Bitter Blossom, and Opt. Put those both in the bottom. Those are not cards I want right now. We'll make them tap out. And then we'll hopefully misbind them next turn. Because I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 power. So if I could just ping with a fairy, pass to their turn, mistbind, hold up subtlety, that would be best case scenario. What you gonna do, my friend? Hit me. Come on, hit me. Hit me. Mm-hmm. Hit me. That's nice. I feel like there's a trick here. This feels wrong to me. Swamp, play that. Gimme, gimme. One, two, three. That's 5 damage. Assuming they don't block. They probably should block though, because I have a faster clock than them. Okay, they're double blocking. Which I'm tempted to try to drop a misbind post combat so that they try to block. Or so that they try to attack. Although actually with Faerie Conclave, I do have some sort of blocker. Fuck. I don't think it matters to me. I have to hold it up for something more impactful. Yeah, that's right. Wait, he's not gonna die anyway. I mean, theoretically I could have made him die instead, but 1, 2, 3, 4. I do have 4, so. Oh, I actually could have attacked with Faerie Conclave that turn. Would I have wanted to? No, because I'd be at 3 mana. That definitely was an option that I did not consider, because I'm dumb. Do I even want to misbind here? That's the question. I don't actually think I do, just because subtlety exists, and I would like to hardcast and not pitch my What do you do? Interesting choice, my friend. We'll misbind here. You're not playing any combat tricks on me. No tricks here. Trick-free zone. Okay, that's game 1. That was really close. I thought I would have lost that game, honestly. I thought I'd just hard lose that game 1. Siphon Insight's kind of good here, but it's also really expensive. God damn it. I hate when people do that. But yeah, that was a game against Grief Ephemerate. It went a little better than I expected. I think we both didn't play ideal. Like, I think we both were a little sloppy. But I won, which is important. Important for my ego. So yeah, here's the deck. I'll have a list in the description, and I also went through it at the beginning.